Hi, welcome once again to Matt and Sarah Fish channel. We appreciate you guys tuning in and joining with us today. We have with us a Deitz number 8 lantern. My wife and I, shortly after we were first married, we ordered this lantern through Lehman's catalog. And this is the Air Pilot, which you should be able to see right there. And this particular model came out in the 1930s. Robert E. Dietz first began selling lanterns back in 1840. And the lanterns that he was selling back then, they burned whale oil and camphene. If you're interested in what camphene is, it is actually still used today as a constituent for essential oils, as well as being used as a food additive for flavoring. Imagine that. Camphene is spelled C-A-M-P-H-E-N-E. If you want to look that up and do any more research about that. If you happen to be like us, my wife and I, and our kids even, we like things that have a historical, nostalgic value to them, and that certainly applies with a Deitz lantern. Even though these models here are being manufactured today, they are not a replica of what used to be made back in the 1800s, but late 1800s, early 1900s, in this case 1930, they are being manufactured or forged on actual machines that were being used 100 years ago. So they're not replicas, they are pieces that look exactly as they did over 100, 150 years ago, nearly 100 years ago in this case. And because they're being forged on the exact tools and process or presses that they were made on at the period of time in which the models were being made. So if you go to Lehman's and you want to, feel like you're holding on to a piece of history, you can order a oil lamp there, and you can actually feel as though you're stepping back in time, as it were. It is interesting to note that this particular model holds quite a bit of oil. In fact, we just filled it up before this video. We're getting ready to winterize our home, and sometimes we tend to lose power this time of the year for various windstorms coming up or lightning storms, that nature. And so it's always good to have a secondary source of lighting. Everybody has flashlights and candles and whatnot. We have a numerous amount of those things, but it's just something nice about light that's emanating from an oil lamp, and it's something that we enjoy. It gives a nice ambiance. Anytime you burn various fuels in a lantern, they say that they're safe. Always make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector. I wouldn't recommend these, burning these for long periods of time, especially in a small enclosed space like a tent or a small bedroom. But in a large room that's ventilated, you shouldn't have any problem. Again, use common sense, good judgment, and you should be fine. This particular model held, you've seen those bottles of oil at the candle section at Walmart. Took about a little over half of one of those large bottles. So I'm not sure exactly how many ounces it is, but When I went online and looked at some specifics for this air pilot, it says that it will burn for 27 hours of burn time. And if you're pinching pennies like me, want to know how cost efficient that is, it averages out to about 4 cents every hour. So not terribly expensive. And like I said, power goes out, it's a nice way to light to your home, light your room, sit around, with the family and, read from the Word of God, or, share life stories, passed down from, your mom and dad, or, from your grandparents, or in my case, I was fortunate enough to have my great-grandmother around, so I can pass down quite a few stories, both from my mom and dad, my grandfather, and my great-grandmother, to my children. And so it makes for a lot of interesting, nostalgia, family nostalgia, plus you have something that it's evoking, a period of yesteryear at the same time. Anyways, we'll give a demonstration throughout this video. I'm not sure the beginning or the end, how much light this throws off. We'll go through the lighting process here just real quickly while it is yet day, as it were, so that it'll be easier to see. This here is the hanging handle. You don't want to hang anything from here. This is actually meant to raise up and clean or replace the bulb, or the globe I should say, not the bulb. Pardon me. But you can see I have a crack here. We've had this for quite some time. Again, shortly after my wife and we were married, ordered this. I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood close to 25 years, if not more. Please don't ask me for specifics. I have a tendency to get in trouble with my wife not being able to remember how many years, that sort of thing. I don't forget dates, but years have a tendency to escape me. So, you men that don't have a problem with that, God bless you. Here's where if you're not familiar, this is where you fill it up, and as you can see, I overfilled it, and you want to try your very best, of course, not to do that, but I can't tell you how much I spilled trying to fill this up. My hands don't hold as steady as I would like them to when I need them to sometimes. The globe raises up, providing you access to the wick. There's actually a space there, and this of course will control the raising and the lowering of the wick to provide you with ample light. You want to be careful not to raise the wick too high of a wick, too much flame. Even though this has a great deal amount of air holes here at the base as well as on top of the chimney to provide ample airflow and escape of gases. If the flame is too high, it will glaze over or will build up on the globe, and that can also cause cracking. That was not the case here. Case here was just mishandling on my part. I started to fall, banged into the side of the barn, and cracked the globe. So, which brings up another interesting point. These oil lamps are really, really safe. Back in the old days, my great-grandmother was around, and even my grandfather, who also grew up on the farm, they told me many stories that the old lanterns that were kerosene, if they broke in a windstorm, fell over or whatnot, it would start a huge fire, many homes, many barns, livestock, personal possessions, and sometimes even worse, were lost in such fires. So, but these, you don't have to worry so much if that falls over and it breaks, the flame will go out, and but a fire will not ensue. So they're a lot more safer. If you have any safety concerns about using a lantern like this, you really don't need to worry so much. You can contact Lehman's or any other company that sells these type of lanterns. They'll tell you the same thing. They are very, very safe, and as I mentioned, economical to use in a case of emergencies. Yeah, using them as a source of light all the time, again, that's to your own discretion. Certainly hour after sunset, and an hour before the sun rises certainly wouldn't hurt. And they do provide a great deal amount of light, and like I said, it has its nostalgia purposes as well. If you like history, if you like that time period. Anyways, we'll stop the video here for now, and I just want to tell you once again, we appreciate you all. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so at this time, and don't forget to make a comment in below so that we can enter your name into a giveaway, 100 subscriber giveaway. As always, keep your powder dry, and in this case, make sure you keep your lamps filled with oil. According to Matthew 24 and 25, be as the wise virgins, not the foolish virgins. And until we see you next time, take care. God bless.
Hello, this is Clem, and this is the lamp oil that we used for the video to fill up the kerosene lamp right over there. And as you can see, we used up more than half of it, and there was 64 flour ounces inside of it, and that was just to fill up the lamp. And some of that was because Dad kept on spilling some, but that's okay. So yeah, there it is, right there. See you later.